Renters head to the state capitol hoping to get the attention of lawmakers. They want some help limiting how much landlords can raise the rent. A proposal to cap increases at 7% a year passed the House. Now it's up for debate in the Senate.
I would like to say it puts a pit in your stomach, because you just really don't know what's going to happen next.
Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson, a Democrat from Seattle, thinks it's going to pass out of the Senate, but could mean changing some elements of the bill, potentially increasing that percentage. This week, dozens of bills died in Olympia after failing to make it off the House and Senate floors before that deadline. However, several controversial ones did make it through. Former State Senator Reuven Carlyle here to talk us through a couple that actually could have a big impact on you. Thanks for being here, as always.
Thank you.
Let's start with this bill that would limit the rent increases. A similar one died last year. This one made it through. What do you think the chances are of it getting to the governor's desk, and how is it different?
Yeah, a big piece of legislation like this often does take 2 years. There's a lot of hearings, there's rallies, as you saw today. The public is very engaged. There's been some recent polling that suggests this is really popular. At the same time, pretty controversial, as you can imagine, because there's a lot of tension from the landlords in terms of their ability to not only pay their mortgage, but also to maintain maintenance. So it was a lot of controversy, took a long time. So a lot of momentum for this bill, though.
How is this different? What's the biggest change from last
year?
Well,
last year it was just a lot of it was broader. They made it a 6-month notification requirement. It's down to 3 months, little, trimmed it down a bit.
But apparently made the difference. So another bill aiming to strengthen public health responses to diseases that are spreading. Tell us about that and whether you think the measles outbreak that we're seeing in some places in the Southeast impacted this.
Absolutely. Well, keep in mind that in a post-COVID world, the increase in measles that we see, as you mentioned, but also just the tension around the government's response. So this bill really you wouldn't think would be controversial, but it does actually say that local governments and the state government have to follow evidence-based, scientifically valid counsel and advice. So the question really is around masking. So it's just a lot of hangover from the COVID era, and now with measles increasing, I think there's a bit of tension on both sides. It took about 2.5 hours of debate, lots of amendments, and it passed on a strictly partisan vote.
Interesting. So another hotly debated bill significantly impacting buying guns in Washington. What would it change for those looking to maybe purchase a firearm?
Yeah, the ability to purchase a firearm today requires a 10-day waiting period. We know that the Alliance for Gun Responsibility as an advocacy group, the public has voted on citizens initiatives. This bill actually requires an actual permit. So there's 12 other states around the country. So it's a big step forward in terms of requiring a safety class and a permit, which would be issued in about 30 days. So this was also a very controversial bill.
What are the arguments for and against it?
I think the Republicans have a deeply held philosophical argument on this, that it's a constitutional right, it's a right to privacy, and it's also a right to self-defense and protect yourself. I think the Democrats are looking for, again, the evidence from those 12 states that this is a best practice, and it really does reduce the incidences of gun violence and danger. So, you could see that it really played out in a very partisan way.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
So of these 3 bills that we've discussed, the rent, the health notification, and the guns, what are the chances you think that they will get to the governor's desk?
I think all 3 of these it's better than even that they're going to make it. The fact that they made it out of the original House of Origin is a big step. So we're right in that final step of the legislative session. Most attention is on the budget, but some of these tough policies like this really get a lot of attention as it gets into the final few weeks.
Like the rental cap, for example.
Right. That's right.
Reuven Carlyle, it's always great to have you with your insights, especially as a former senator. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next Friday.
Thank you.